Tonight we are reading. Oh, so when you're on stage, you start video. When you're off stage, you stop video. I don't think Tim knows that, but now Tim does know that. Yes?
I do know that.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tim.
You.
Here we go. We're reading Julius Caesar by Shakespeare.
Oh.
Tonight,
Who?
tonight, Marty Goldberg will be playing.
Marcus Brutus.
Thomas Kane is playing.
Mark Antony.
Kevin Bain will be playing.
Julius Caesar.
Bernard Bosio playing.
CASCA and Antony's soldier.
Taylor Lynn playing.
Portia, the third citizen, and POPILIUS.
Tyler Bogen will be playing.
Titus, Flavius, MESSALA, and CINNA the poet.
Maurice Kessler playing.
Cobbler, DECIUS, and PINDARUS.
Christopher Young playing.
MARULLUS and Cassius.
Elizabeth Bove will be playing.
ARTEMIDORUS, CALPURNIA, the second citizen, Lepidus, CINNA, and Lucidicius. No, that's
Oh my nerve.
And then for dessert, okay.
Valerie O'Hara is playing.
Lucius, first citizen, and voluminous.
David Mackler will be playing.
Trebonius and Octavius.
Michael Genove playing.
Gregarious, the soothsayer, Strato, and Antony's servant.
Tim Burrows playing.
Cicero, Caesar's servant, Octavius' servant, Titinius, and Clytus.
Act 1, Scene 1. Rome, a street. Enter Flavius and Marullus from one side of the stage. Enter the cobbler with more commoners and laborers from the other side.
Hence, home, you idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday? What now, you not? Being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession? What dost thou with thy best apparel on? Speak, what trade art thou?
Trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed a mender of bad souls.
What trade, thou knave? Thou naughty knave, what trade?
Nay, I beseech you, sir, be not out with me. Yet, if you be out, I can mend you.
What meanest thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow.
Why, sir, cobble you.
Thou art a cobbler, art thou? But wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes, to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph.
Wherefore rejoice? What conquests bring he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome to grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels? You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things. Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome, knew you not Pompey? Many a time and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops, your infants in your arms, and there have sat the live long day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And when you saw his chariot but appear, have you not made a universal shout, that timber tremble underneath her banks to hear the replication of your sounds made in her concave shores? And do you now put on your best attire? And do you now call out a holiday? And do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Be gone. Run to your houses, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to intermit the plague that needs must light on this ingratitude.
Exeunt, cobbler, and all the commoners.
They vanish tongue-tied in their guiltiness. Go you down that way towards the Capitol. This way will I disrobe the images, if you do find them decked with ceremonies.
May we do so. You know it is the feast of Lupercal.
It is no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. It's I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. So do you too, where you perceive them thick. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness?
Exhumed separately. Scene 2, a public place. Flourish and music. Enter Caesar, Antony for the course, Calpurnia, Portia, DECIUS, Cicero, Brutus, Cassius, and CASCA. A great crowd following, among them a soothsayer.
Calpurnia! Calpurnia!
Here, my lord.
Stand you directly in Antonius' way, when he doth run his course, Antonius.
Caesar, my lord.
Forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia, for our elders say the Baron, touched in his holy chase, shake off their sterile curse.
I shall remember. When Caesar says do this, it is performed.
Set on and leave no ceremony out.
Flourish.
Caesar,
Ha! Who calls? Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue, shriller than all the music, cry, Caesar, speak. Caesar is turned to hear.
beware the Ides of March.
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me, let me see his face.
Soothsayer comes forward.
Look upon Caesar. What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him pass.
Senate. Exeunt all except Brutus and Cassius.
Will you go see the order of the course?
Not I.
I pray you do.
I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which gives some soil, perhaps, to my behaviors. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number Cassius, be you one, nor construe any further my neglect, than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men.
Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other things.
'Tis just. And it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus and groaning underneath this age yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius, that you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me?
Since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that yourself which you yet not know of.
What needs this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Aye, do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so.
I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would import to me? If it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye and death in the other, and I will look on both indifferently. For let the gods so speed me as I love the name of honor more than I fear death.
I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot tell you and other men think of this life, but for my single self, I had as lief not be as to live to be in awe of such things as I myself. I was born free as Caesar. So were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutered as I was, I plunged in and bade him to follow. So indeed he did. This torrent roared, and we did buffet with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and steaming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink!" I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old anxious bear, so from the waves of Tiber I did the tide Caesar, and this man is now become a god, and Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body if Caesar carelessly but nod on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, 'tis God did shake. His coward lip from their color fly, and that same eye whose bend doth awe all the world did lose his luster. I did hear him groan. Aye, and that tongue of his that bade the Romans mark him and write his speeches in their books, alas, it cried, "Give me some drink, Titinius." It's a sick girl. You gods, it doth amaze me a man of such feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone.
Shout.
Another
Lord.
general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar.
Why, man? He doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should that be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Your name is as fair a name. Sound them. It doth become the mouth as well. Now in the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed that he grown so great? Age, art thou shamed? When could they say till now that talked of Rome, that her wild walls encompassed but one man? Now is it Rome indeed, and room enough when there is in there but one only man? Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say, there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king.
What you would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this and of these times, I shall recount hereafter. For this present I will not, so with love I might entreat you, be any further moved. What you have said I will consider. What you have to say I will with patience hear, and find time both to meet, both meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew on this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon us.
I am glad my weak words have struck but this much show of fire from Brutus.
Re-enter Caesar and his train.
The games are done, and Caesar is returning.
As they pass by, pluck CASCA by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what hath preceded worthy note today.
I will do so, but look you, Cassius, the angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like a chid in train.
CASCA will tell us what the matter is.
Antonius.
Caesar.
Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep o' nights. Yon Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He is a noble Roman and well given.
He is a great observer, and he looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no play, as dost thou, Antony. He hears no music, seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked himself and scorned his spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease, whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. Come, tell me truly what thou thinkest of him.
Senate, exeunt Caesar and all his train but Casca.
You pulled me by the cloak. Would you speak with me?
Aye, Casca. Tell us what hath chanced today that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, you were with him, were you not?
I should not then ask Casca what had chanced.
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand, thus, and then the people fell a shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Oh, why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, marry was, and he put it on. He put it by thrice, every time gentler than the other. And at every putting by, mine honest neighbors shouted.
Who offered him the crown? Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
Oh, it was mere foolery. I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown. 'Twas not a crown neither. 'Twas one of these coronets. And as I told you, he put it by once. But for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again. Then he put it by again. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. And then he offered it a third time. He put it by. Put it the third time by, and still, as he refused it, the rabblement hooted and clapped their chopped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown that it almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving bad air.
But soft, I pray you. What? Did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace and foamed at the mouth and was speechless.
'Tis very like. He hath the failing sickness.
No, Caesar hath it not. But you and I and honest Casca, we have the failing sickness.
I know not what you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Mary,
Mary.
Oh, sorry.
Marry, before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd was glad he refused the crown, he plucked me up his doublet and offered him his throat to cut. When he came to himself again, he said if we had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, "Alas, good soul," and forgave him with all their hearts.
And after that, he came thus sad away.
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
It was Greek to me. I could tell you more news too. Marullus and Flavius, for pulling scarfs off Caesar's images, are put to silence. There was more foolery yet, if I could remember it.
Will you sup with me tonight, Casca?
Oh, no, I am promised forth.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Aye, if I be alive, and your mind hold, and your dinner worth the eating.
Good. I will expect you.
Do so. Farewell, both.
Exit Casca.
What a blunt fellow is this grown to be. He was quick mettle when he went to school.
So he is now in execution of any bold or noble enterprise. However, he puts on this tardy form. This rudeness is a sauce to his good wit, which gives men stomach to digest his words with better appetite.
And so it is. For this time I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, come home to me. I will wait for you.
I will do so. Then, think of the world.
Exit Brutus.
Well, Brutus, thou art noble. Yet I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. For whom so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now and he were Cassius, he should not humor me. I will this night in several hands in at this window's throws, as if they came from several citizens' writings, all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at, and after this let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him, or worse days endure.
Exit Cassius. Scene 3, the same, a street. Thunder and lightning. Enter from opposite sides CASCA with his sword drawn, and Cicero.
Even Kessler, brought you Caesar home. Why are you breathless, and why stare you so?
Are not you moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Oh, Cicero, I have seen tempest when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious oceans swell and rage and foam to be exalted with threatening clouds, but never till now did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction.
Why? Saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined. Yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I had not since put up my sword. Against the Capitol I met a lion, who glared upon me and went surly by without annoying me. And there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets. And yesterday the bird of night did sit, even at noonday, upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say these are reasons they are natural, for I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time. But men may construe things after their fashion, clean from the purpose of the thought themselves, of the things themselves. Come Caesar to the Capitol tomorrow.
He doth, for he did bid Antonius send word to you he would be there tomorrow.
Good night, then. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Exit Cicero, enter Cassius.
Who's there?
A Roman.
CASCA, by your voice.
Your ear is good, Cassius. What night is this?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew the heavens menace so?
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night, and thus unembraced, CASCA, as you see, have bared my bosom to the thunderstone. And when the cross blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself even in the aim and very flash of it.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble when most mighty gods by token send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
You are dull, CASCA, and those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want, or else you use not. You look pale, and gaze, and put on fear, and cast yourself in wonder to see the strange impatience of the heavens. But if you would consider the true cause, why all these fires, why all these gliding ghosts, why birds and beasts from quality and kind, why old men, fools, and children calculate, why all these things change from their ordinance, their natures, and their performed faculties to monstrous quality, why? you shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits to make them instruments of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. Now could I, CASCA, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night that thunders, lightnings, open graves, and roars as doth the lion in the Capitol? A man no mightier than thyself or me in personal action, yet prodigiously grown and fearful as these strange eruptions are.
It's Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is.
Indeed. They say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king, and he shall wear his crown by sea and land in every place, save here in Italy.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, you gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, you gods, you tyrants do defeat. No stony tower, nor walls of beaten brass, nor airless dungeon, nor strong links of iron can be retentive to the strength of spirit, but life, being wary of these worldly bars, never lacks the power to dismiss itself. If I know this, know all the world besides, that part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
Thunder.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man, I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheeps. He were no lion, were not Romans' hinds. Those that with haste will make a mighty fire begin with weak straws. What trash is Rome? What rubbish? And what fatal offal when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar? But oh grief, where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman.
Speak to CASCA, and to such a man that is no fearing telltale. Hold my hand.
They shake hands.
Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made. Now know you, CASCA, I have moved already some curtain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence. And I do know by this that they stay for me in Pompey's porch. For now, this fearful night, there is no stir or walking in the streets. The complexion of the element in favor, like the work we have in hand, most bloody, fiery, and most terrible.
Enter Cinna.
And close a while, for here comes one in haste.
To Cinna, I do know him by his gait. He is a friend. Cinna, where haste you so?
Find out you. What a fearful night is this. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights. Who's that? METELLUS CIMBER?
No, it is CASCA, one incorporate to our attempts. Am I not stayed for Cinna?
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party.
Be you content, good Cinna. Take this paper, and look you lay it at the chair where Brutus may find it, and throw this in at his window. Set this up with wax upon old Brutus's statue. All this done, repair to Pompey's porch, where you shall find us. Is DECIUS, Brutus, and Trebonius there?
All but METELLUS CIMBER, and he's gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie, and so bestow these papers as you bade me.
That done, repair to Pompey's theater.
Exit Cinna.
Come, CASCA. You and I will yet ere day see Brutus at this house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man's entire upon the next encounter yields him ours.
No, he sits high in all people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness.
Him and his worth and our great need of him you have right well conceited. Let us go, for it is after midnight, and ere day we will awake him and be sure of him.
Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 1. Rome, nighttime. Brutus's orchard. Enter Brutus.
It must be by his death, and for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general. He would be crowned, how that might change his nature. There's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves wary walking. Crown him that, and then I grant we put a string in him, that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins, remorse from power. And, to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affection swayed more than his reason. But 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attends the utmost run, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may, then least he may prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he, fashion it thus, that what he is augmented would run to these and these extremities, and therefore think of him as a serpent's egg, which hatched would, as his kind, grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
Enter Lucius.
Searching the window for a flint for the chamber of your study, I found this paper, which sealed up, and I am sure I did not lie there where I went to bed.
Lucius gives him a letter.
Get you to bed again. It is not day. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March?
I know not, sir.
Look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
Exit Lucius.
Brutus,
opening and reading a letter. Sorry.
Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake, and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc. Speak, strike, redress. Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake. Such instigations have been often dropped where I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc. Thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What, Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome the Tarquin drive when he was called a king? Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise. If the redress will follow, thou receives thy full petition at the hand of...
Sir, March has wasted 14 days.
A knock.
Is good. Go to the gate. Somebody knocks.
Exit Lucius.
Since Cassius first did wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius of the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Re-enter Lucius.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door, who doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, sir, there are more with him.
Do you know them?
No, sir, their hats are plucked about their ears, and half their faces buried in their cloaks, that by no means I may discover them by any mark of favor.
Let him enter.
Exit Lucius.
They are the faction. O conspiracy, shamest thou to show thy dangerous brow by night when evil are most free? Oh, then, by day, where wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none conspiracy, hide it in smiles and affability. For if thou path thy native semblance on, not Erebus itself were dim enough to hide thee from prevention.
Enter the conspirators, Cassius, CASCA, DECIUS, CINNA, METELLUS, and Trebonius.
I think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour, awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you?
Yes, every man of them, and no man here but honors you, and every one doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself, which every noble Roman bears of you. This Trebonius. This Decius Brutus. This CASCA. This CINNA. And this METELLUS CIMBER.
They are all welcome. Give me your hands all over, one by one.
And let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. If not the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, the time's abuse. If these be motives weak, break off betimes, and every man hence to his idle bed. So let high-sided tyranny range on, till each man drop by a lottery. But if these, as I am sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards and to steal with valor the melting spirits of women, then, countrymen, what need we any spur but to our own cause to prick us to redress? What are the bond, then secret Romans that have spoke the word and will not palter? And what are oath and honesty to honesty engaged that this shall be, or will we fall for it? Swear priests and cowards and men cautelous, old feeble carrions and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs. Unto bad causes swear such creatures as men doubt, but do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirits to think that our cause or our performance did need an oath, when every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of a several bastardy. If he do break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him.
But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us.
Oh, let us have him, for his silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion, and by men's voices to commend our deeds. If shall be said his judgment ruled our hands, our youths and wildness shall not wit appear, but all be buried in his gravity.
Oh, name him not. Let us not break with him, for he will never follow anything that other men begin.
Indeed, he is not fit.
Shall no man else be touched but only Caesar?
Decius, well urged. I think it is not met, Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means, if he improve them, well may stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs, like wrath and death and envy afterwards. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let us be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. We all stand up against the spirit of Caesar, and in the spirit of men there is no blood. Oh, that we then could come by Caesar's spirits, and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it, and gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds. Let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage, and after seem to chide them. This shall make our purpose necessary and not envious, which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called perjurers, not murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
Yet I fear him, for in the engrafted love he bears to Caesar.
Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter.
Clock strikes.
The clock hath stricken 3.
'Tis time to part.
But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no, for he is superstitious grown of late. It may be that these apparent prodigies, the unaccustomed terror of this night, and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him up from the Capitol today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can oversway him, for I can give his humor the true bent. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work, and I will bring him to the Capitol.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him.
By the 8th hour, the Is that the uttermost?
Be that the utmost, and fail not then.
Metellus.
Cassius Ligarius doth bear Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him.
Now, good Metellus, go along by him. He loves me well, and I have given him reasons. Send him but hither, and I'll fashion him.
This morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus. And friends, disperse yourselves, but all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so good morrow to you every one.
Exeunt all but Brutus. Enter Portia.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw, cold morning.
Nor for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed. And yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing, with your arms across, and when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further. Then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not, but with an angry wafture of your hand gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience, which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping it was but an effect of humor, which sometime hath this hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep, and could it work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed on your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why? So I do. Good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical, to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What? Is Brutus sick, and will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night, and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add to his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know. And upon my knees, I charm you by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow, which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me, yourself, your half, why you are heavy, and what men tonight have had resort to you. For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their face even from darkness.
You not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, but as it were in sort or limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then should I know this secret. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husband? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I've made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience and not my husband's secrets?
Oh, you gods, be worthy of this noble wife.
A knock within.
Hark, hark, one knocks. Portia, go in a while. and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, all the charactery of my sad brows. Leave me with haste.
Exit Portia.
Who's that knocks?
Enter Ligarius with a cloth around his head.
Caius Ligarius, that Metellus spoke of. A sick man, Caius Ligarius. How?
Vouchsafe good morrow from a feeble tongue.
Oh, what a time have you chose out, brave Caius, to wear a kerchief. Would you were not sick?
I am not sick. If Brutus have in hand any exploit worthy the name of honor.
Such an exploit have I in hand, Ligarius. Had you a healthy ear to hear of it?
By all the gods that Romans bow before, I here discard my sickness.
He removes his kerchief.
Soul of Rome, brave son derived from honorable loins, can exercise fortified spirit. Now bid me run, and I will strive with things impossible. Yea, get the better of them. What's to do?
A piece of work that will make sick men whole.
But are not some whole that we must make sick?
That must we also. What it is, my Cassius, I shall unfold to thee as we are going to whom it must be done.
Set on your foot, and with a heart new fired, I follow you to do I know not what. But it sufficeth that Brutus leads me on.
Follow me, then.
Exeunt. Scene 2, Caesar's house. Thunder and lightning. Enter Caesar in his nightgown.
Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, Help, ho, thy murder, Caesar! Who's within? Go bid the priest do present sacrifice, and bring me their opinions of success.
Enter Calpurnia.
Or what mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall forth. The things that threatened me ne'er look but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce fiery warriors fall upon the clouds in rank and squadrons and right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air. Horse did neigh and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. O Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided, whose end is prepared by God? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but one. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, unnecessary end, will come when it will come.
Enter Caesar's servant.
What says the augurs?
They would not have you stir forth today. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they could not find a heart within the beast.
The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast with a heart if he should stay at home today for fear. No, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions lived in one day. I, the elder and more terrible, and Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say, you are not well today. Let me upon my knee prevail in this.
Calpurnia kneels.
Mark Antony shall say, I am not well, and for thy humor, I will stay at home.
Caesar lifts
Here's
Calpurnia to her
Decius.
feet. Enter Decius.
Here's Decius Brutus. He shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate House.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators, and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Decius.
He is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be afraid to tell gray beards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate, but for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which, like a fountain with 100 spouts, did run pure blood. And many lusty Romans came smiling, and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents, and evil imminent, and on her knee hath begged that I shall stay at home today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue, spouting blood in many pipes in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This Calpurnia's dream is signified, and know it now, the Senate have concluded to give state a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock apt to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate till another time, when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear love to our proceeding bids me tell you this, and reason to my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia? I am ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go.
Enter Publius, Brutus, Ligarius, Metellus, Casca, Trebonius, and Cinna.
And look where Publius is come to fetch me. Welcome, Publius. What Brutus are you stirred too early to? Caius Ligarius, Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy as that same egg which hath made you lean. What is 2 o'clock?
Easier, 'tis struck an 8.
Enter Antony.
See, Antony, that revels long at nights is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
So too, most noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for.
Exit Caesar's servant.
Now, Trebonius, I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me, that I may remember you.
Caesar, I will. And so near will I be that your best friends shall wish I had been further.
Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
That every like is not the same, O Caesar. The heart of Brutus yearns to think upon.
Exeunt. Scene 3. A street near the Capitol. Enter ARTEMIDORUS, reading a paper.
Caesar, beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius. Come not near CASCA. Have an eye to CINNA. Trust not Trebonius. Mark well METELLUS, CIMBER. DECIUS Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. Thy lover. ARTEMIDORUS. Here will I stand till Caesar pass along, and as a suitor will I give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou read this, O Caesar, thou mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
Exit ARTEMIDORUS. Scene 4, another part of the same street before the house of Brutus. Enter Portia and Lucius.
I prithee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay?
To know thy errand, madam.
I would have had thee there and here again, ere I can tell thee what thou shouldst do there. Ugh, constancy. Be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard it is for woman to keep counsel. Art thou here yet? Bring me word, boy, if thy lord look well, for he went sickly forth. And take good note what Caesar doth, what suitors press to him. Hark, boy, noise is that?
I hear none, madam.
Prithee, listen well. I heard a bustling rumor, like a fray, and the wind brings it from the capital.
Sooth, madam, I hear nothing.
Enter the soothsayer.
Come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been?
Mine own house, good lady.
What is it o'clock?
About the 9th hour, lady.
Is Caesar gone to the capital?
Madam, not yet. I go to take my stand to see him pass on to the capital.
Thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not?
That I have, lady. If it will please Caesar to be so good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself.
Why? Knowest thou any harms attended towards him?
None that I know will be. Much that I fear may chance. Good morrow to you.
I must go inside. Ay me, how weak a thing the heart of woman is. Oh, Brutus, the heavens speed thee to thine enterprise. Sure the boy heard me. Brutus hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. Oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lord. Say I am merry. Come to me again and bring me word what he doth say to thee.
Exeunt severally. Act 3, Scene 1. Rome before the Capitol. The Senate sitting above. A crowd of people, among them ARTEMIDORUS and the soothsayer, flourish. Enter Caesar, Brutus, Cassius, CASCA, DECIUS, METELLUS, Trebonius, CINNA, Antony, Lepidus, POPILIUS, Publius, and others.
The Ides of March are come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone.
Hail, Caesar, read this schedule.
Trebonius doth desire you to read at your best leisure this his humble suit.
Oh, Caesar, read mine first, for mine's a suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar.
What touches us ourselves shall be last served.
Delay not, Caesar, read it instantly.
What urge you your petitions in the street? Come to the Capitol.
Caesar goes up to the Senate house, the rest following.
I wish your enterprise today may thrive.
What enterprise, Popilius?
Very well.
Popilius walks towards Caesar.
What said Popilius Lena?
Wish today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered.
Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him.
Casca, be sudden. For we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar shall never turn back, for I will slay myself.
Cassius, be constant. Popilius Linus speaks not of our purposes, for look, he smiles, and Caesar does not change.
Trebonius knows his time. For look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Exeunt Antony and Trebonius.
Where is Metellus CIMBER? Let him go and presently prefer his suit to Caesar.
He is addressed. Press near and second him.
CASCA, you are the first that rears your hand.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus CIMBER throws before thy seat and humble heart.
I must prevent thee, CIMBER. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn pre-ordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood that will be thawed from the true quality with that which melteth fools. I mean street words, low, crooked curtsies, and spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree is banished, and if thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way.
Is there no voice more worthy than my own, to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius CIMBER may have an immediate freedom of appeal.
What, Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar. Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall to beg enfranchisement for Publius CIMBER.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me, but I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth but one in all doth hold his place. So in the world is furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood, and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do know but one, that unassailable holds on his rank, unshaked of motion, and that I am he. Let me show it, even this, that I was constant, CIMBER should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so.
Oh, Caesar.
Hence, will thou lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar.
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel?
Speak hands for me.
As CASCA strikes, the others stand up and stab Caesar, leaving Brutus for last.
To Brutus, then fall Caesar.
He dies.
Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. Run hence, proclaim, cry it about the streets.
Confusion. Exit some citizens and senators.
People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand still. Ambition's debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And Cassius, too.
Stand fast together, lest some friend of Caesar's should chance.
Talk not of standing. Publius, good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person, nor to no Roman else. So tell them, Publius.
And leave us, Publius, lest that the people rushing on us should you do your age some mischief.
Do so, and let no man abide this deed, but we the doers.
All but the conspirators exit. Re-enter Trebonius.
Where is Antony?
Fled to his house, amazed. Men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run as it were doomsday.
Fates, we will know your pleasures. That we shall die, we know, 'tis but the time, and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death.
Grant that, and then in death a benefit. So are we Caesar's friends that have abridged his time of fearing death. Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows and besmear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons over our heads, let's all cry, peace, freedom, and liberty.
Stoop, then, and wash.
They smear their hands and swords with Caesar's blood.
How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown? So oft that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty.
What, shall we forth?
Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most bold and best hearts of Rome.
Enter Antony's servant.
Soft, who comes here? A friend of Antony's.
Us, Brutus, my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate, thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I love Brutus, and I honor him. Say, I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him and be resolved, how Caesar has deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the hazards of this untrod state with all true faith. So says my master Antony.
Thy master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him, so please him come unto this place, he shall be satisfied, and by my honor depart untouched.
I'll fetch him presently.
Exit Antony's servant.
I know that we shall have him well to friend.
I wish me may, but yet have I a mind that fears him much, and my misgivings still fall shrewdly to the purpose.
But here comes Antony.
We enter Antony.
Welcome, Mark Antony.
Oh, mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquest glories, triumphs, spoils, shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument of half the worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech you, if you bear me hard now, whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure. I shall not find myself so apt to die, nor place will please me so, no mean of death as here, by Caesar.
O Antony, beg not your death of us. Though now we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands and this our present act, you see we do. Yet see you but our hands, and this the bleeding business they have done. Our hearts you see not, they are pitiful. And pity to the general wrong of Rome, as fire drives out fire, so pity, pity, hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have leaden points. Mark Antony, our arms in strength of malice, and our hearts of brother's temper, do receive you in with all kind love, good thoughts, and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient till we have appeased the multitude, besides themselves with fear, and then we will deliver you the cause. Why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand.
Shakes hands with the conspirators.
Gentlemen all, alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one or two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer, that I did love thee, Caesar. Oh, 'tis true. If thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death, to see thy Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes? Most noble in the presence of thy corpse, and I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood. It would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. Pardon me, Julius. Here wast thou, babe, brave heart. Here didst thou fall, and here thy hunters stand, signed in thy spoil and crimsoned in thy lath. O world, thou wast the forest to this heart, and this indeed, O world, the heart of thee, how like a deer strucken by many princes, dost thou here lie.
Mark Antony, I blame you not for praising Caesar so. But what compact mean you to have with us? Will you be pricked in numbers of our friends, or shall we on, and not depend on you?
Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from that point by looking down on Caesar. Friends am I with you all, and love you all, upon this hope, that you shall give me the reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Or else were this a savage spectacle, our reasons are so full of good regard that were you Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied.
That's all I seek, and moreover, suitor that I may produce this body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you? You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter?
By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first, and show the reason of our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I will protest he speaks by leave and by permission, and that we are contented Caesar shall have all true rights and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage more than us do wrong. Mark Antony, here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission. Else shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral. You shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I am going, after my speech is ended.
Be it so. I desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Exeunt all but Antony.
Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds now I prophesy. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered in the hands of war. And Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, with Ate by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these caverns with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed that smell above the earth, with carrion men groaning for burial.
Enter Octavius's servant.
You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did right for him to come to Rome.
He did receive his letters and is coming, and bid me say to you by word of mouth, oh, Caesar.
Thy heart is big. Get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching from mine eyes, seeing these beads of sorrow stand in thine. Begin to water. Is thy master coming?
He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Post back with speed and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome. Shall I try in my oration for how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to the which thou shalt discourse to young Octavius of the state of things. Lend me your hand.
Exeunt with Caesar's body. Scene 2, the Forum. Enter Brutus and Cassius and a throng of citizens.
Romans, countrymen and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses that you may better judge if there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's. To him I say that Brutus' love to Caesar is no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his value, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any, speak. For him have I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any, speak. For him have I offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any, speak. For him have I offended. I pause for a reply. Then none have I offended.
Enter Antony and others with Caesar's body.
Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth. As which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself when it pleased my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus, live. Bring him in triumph home to his house.
Let him be Caesar. Caesar's better part shall be crowned in Brutus.
We'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamors.
My countrymen.
Be silence. Brutus speaks.
Good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake stay here with Antony. Grace Caesar's corpse and grace his speech tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not a man depart save I alone, till Antony hath spoke.
Exit Brutus and Cassius.
We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up.
For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you.
What does
Antony
he
goes
say
to
of
the
Brutus? What does he say of Brutus?
He says, for Brutus' sake, he finds himself beholden to us all.
Twere best he speak of no harm of Brutus here. This Caesar was a tyrant.
Nay, that's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him.
Peace. Let us hear what Antony can say.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus has told you Caesar was ambitious. If it was so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, and so they all are an honorable men, come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me, but Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general's coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor hath cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition shouldn't be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see on the Lupercal, I thrice presented him with a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you, then, to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to Brutus. And I must pause till it come back to me.
He weeps.
There is much reason in his sayings. Mark you his words? He would not take the crown. Therefore, 'tis certain he was not ambitious. If it be found so will dear abide it.
Poor soul. His eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
And now mark him. He begins to speak again.
Yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. Oh, masters, if I was disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who, you all know, are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read, and they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wound, and dip their napkins in his sacred blood, yet beg a hair of him for memory, and dying mention it in the wills, bequeathing as a rich legacy unto their issue.
Will his will. Read it, Mark Antony. The will, we will hear Caesar's will.
Have patience, gentle friends. I must not read it. It is not meet you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men, and being men, hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you. It will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not that you are his heirs, for if you should, oh, what would come of it?
Read the will. Look at Antony. You shall read us the will, Caesar's will.
I have o'ershot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors. Honorable men.
They were villains, murderers. The will, read the will.
You will compel me then to read the will? Then make a ring without the corpse of Caesar, and let me show you him that made the will.
Antony descends the pulpit and approaches Caesar's body.
A ring, stand round.
If you have tears, prepare to show them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time Caesar ever put it on. It was on a summer's evening in his tent, the day he overcame the Nervi. Look at this place, ran Cassius' dagger through. See what a rent the envious CASCA made. Through this, the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it as rushing out of doors to be resolved. If Brutus so unkindly knocked or no, for Brutus, you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, oh you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most him. Then burst his mighty heart, and in his mantle muffling up his face, even at the base of Pompey's statue, which all the while ran blood, great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen. Then I and you and all of us fell down, whilst bloody Trajan flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops, kind souls. What weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here.
Antony lifts
Here
his
is-
cloak.
Here is himself, marred as you see with traitors.
Oh,
Oh, noble Caesar.
Oh, woeful day!
Oh, most bloody sight. We will be revenged. Revenge. About seek.
Burn, fire, kill, slay, not let a traitor live.
Stay, countrymen.
here's the noble Antony.
We'll hear him. We'll follow him. We'll die with him.
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not, that made them do it. They are wise and honorable, and will no doubt, with reasons, answer you. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain, blunt man that loved my friend, and that they know full well, that gave me public leave to speak of him. I have neither wit, nor words, nor worth, action, nor utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show your sweet Caesar's wounds, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny.
Away then, come, seek the conspirators.
Why, friends, you go to do what you know not what? Wherein hath Caesar deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then, you have forgot the will I told you.
Most true, the will. Let's stay and hear the will.
Here is the will, and under Caesar's seal to every Roman he gives, to every several man, 75 drachmas.
Most noble Caesar, we'll revenge his death.
Oh, royal Caesar.
Hear me with patience. Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors, and new planted orchards. On the side Tiber, he hath left them you, and to your heirs, forever, common pleasures to walk abroad, and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another?
Never, never. We'll burn his body in the holy place, and with the brands fire the traitors' houses. Take up the body.
Go fetch the fires, pluck down the benches, pluck down forms, windows, anything.
Exeunt citizens with the body.
Now let it work. Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt.
Enter Octavius's servant.
How now, fellow?
Sir, Octavius has already come to Rome. He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house.
And thither will I straight to visit him. He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry, and in this mood will give us anything.
I heard him say Brutus and Cassius are rid like madmen through the gates of Rome.
Belike they had some notice of the people, how I moved them. Bring me to Octavius.
Exeunt. Scene 3, a street. Enter Cinna, the poet.
Sound okay?
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unlucky charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
Enter citizens.
What is your name?
Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell?
Answer every man directly.
I, and briefly.
I, and wisely.
I, and truly. You were best.
Directly, I am going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
That matter is answered directly.
Your dwelling, briefly?
Briefly, I dwell by the Capitol.
Your name, sir, truly?
Truly, my name is Cinna.
Tear him to pieces. He is a conspirator.
I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet.
Tear him for his bad verses. Tear him for his bad verses.
I am not Cinna the conspirator.
It is no matter. His name's Cinna. Pluck out his name out of his heart and turn him going.
Tear him, tear him. Come, brands. Ho, firebrands. To Brutus, to Cassius. Burn all. Some to DECIUS' house and some to CASCA's, some to Ligorius. Away, go.
Exeunt carrying Cinna the poet. Act 4, Scene 1, a house in Rome. Antony, Octavius, and Lepidus seated at a table.
These many then shall die. Their names are pricked.
Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus?
I do consent.
Prick him down, Antony.
Upon condition, POPILIUS shall not live. Who is your sister's son, Mark Antony?
He shall not live. Look, with a spot I damn him. But Lepidus, go you to Caesar's house. Fetch the will hither, and then we shall determine how to cut off some change in legacies.
What? Shall I find you here?
Or here, or at the Capitol.
Exit Lepidus.
This is a slight, unmeritable man, meet to be sent on errands. It is fit the threefold world be divided. He should stand on one of the three to share it.
So you fought him and took his voice, who should be pricked to die, in our black sentence and proscription.
Octavius, I have seen more days than you, and though we lay these honors on this man to ease ourselves of diverse slanderous loads, he shall but bear them as the ass bears gold. To groan and sweat under the business, either led or driven, as we point the way, and have brought our treasures where we will, and take down this load, and turn him off to shake their ears and graze in commons.
But he's a tried and valiant soldier.
So is my horse, Octavius, and for that I do appoint him store of provender. It is a creature that I teach to fight, to wind, to stop, to run directly on. His corporal motion governed by my spirit, and in some haste is Lepidus, but no, he must be taught and trained and bid go forth. Do not talk of him, but as a property. And now, Octavius, listen great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. We must straight make head. Therefore, let our alliance be combined. Our best friends made, our means stretched, and let us presently go sit in council, how covert matters may be best disclosed, and open perils surest answered.
Let us do so, for we are at the stake and bait about with many enemies, and some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischief.
Exeunt. Scene 2, Camp near Sardis, inside Brutus's tent. Drum. Enter Brutus, Lucilius, and Lucius.
What now, Lucilius? Is Cassius near?
He's at hand and is come to do your salutation.
He greets me well. But tell me, Lucilius, how he received you. Let
With
me
courtesy and with respect enough, but not with such familiar instances, nor with such free and friendly conference as he hath used of old.
Thou hast described a hot friend cooling. Ever note, Lucilius, when love begins to sicken and decay, it useth an enforced ceremony. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith, but hollow men, like horses hot at hand, make gallant show and promise of their mettle. Hark, he is arrived.
Enter Cassius and Titinius.
Most noble brother, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, you gods. Wrong I mine enemies? And if not so, how should I wrong a brother?
Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs. That you have wronged does appear in this. You have condemned and noticed Lucius Pella taking bribes here of the Sardinians, wherein my letters praying on his side because I knew the man was slighted off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case.
In such a time as this is not met that every nice offense should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and mark your offices for gold to undeservers.
I, an itching palm. You know that you are Brutus that speak this. Oh, by the gods, this speech were else your last.
The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head.
Chastisement!
Remember March, the Ides of March, remember. Did not great Julius bleed for justice's sake? What villain touched his body that did stab, and not for justice? What? Shall one of us that struck the foremost man of all this world, but for supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes and sell the mighty space of our lodge honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog and bathe the moon than such a Roman.
Brutus, bait me not. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier. I older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
Go to. You are not, Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not. Away, slight man.
Is't possible.
Must I give way and room to your rash choler? Shall I be frighted when a madman stares?
Oh, you gods, must I endure all this?
All this? Aye, more. Fret till your proud heart break. Go show your slaves how caloric you are and make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? You say you are a better soldier, let it appear so. Make your vaunting true, and it shall please me well. For mine own part, I shall be glad to learn of noble men.
You wrong me every way. I said an elder soldier, not better. Did I say better?
If you did, I care not.
When Caesar lived, he durst not thus have moved me.
Peace, peace. You durst not so have tempted him.
I durst not?
No.
What? Durst not tempt him?
For your life you durst not.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that shall be sorry for.
You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats, for I am armed so strong in honesty that they passed by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me, for I can raise no money by vile means. By heaven, I had rather coin my heart and drop my blood for drachmas than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection. I did send to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts, dash him to pieces.
I denied you not.
You did.
I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not, till you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friendly eye could never see such faults.
Flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Antony and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius, for Cassius is aweary of the world, hated by ones he loves, braved by his brother, checked like a bondman, all his faults observed, set in a notebook, learned and conned by rote to cast into my teeth. Oh, I could weep my spirit from mine eyes. There is my dagger, and here my naked breast. If thou beest a Roman, take it forth, that I denied thee gold will give my heart. Strike as thou did Caesar, for I know where thou didst hate him worst. Thou lovest him better than ever thou lovest Cassius.
Sheath your dagger. Be angry when you will. It shall have scope. Do what you will. Dishonor shall be humor. O Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as a flint bears fire, who, much enforced, shows a hasty spark, and straight is cold again.
Give me your hand.
And my heart too.
They clasp hands.
Oh, Brutus.
What's the matter?
Not you love enough to bear with me when the rash humor which my mother gave me makes me forgetful.
Yes, Cassius, and from henceforth, when you are over earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides and leave you so. Lucilius and Titinius, bid the commanders prepare to lodge their companies tonight.
And come yourselves, and bring MESSALA with you immediately to us.
Exeunt Lucilius and Titanius.
Lucius, a bowl of wine.
Exit Lucius.
I did not think you could have been so angry.
O Cassius, I am sick of many griefs. Portia is dead.
Oh. Portia?
She is dead.
Upon what sickness?
Impatience of my absence and grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong. She felt distract and swallowed fire.
And died so.
Even so.
Immortal gods.
Re-enter Lucius with wine and tapers.
Speak no more of her. Give me a bowl of wine. In this I bury all unkindness, Cassius.
He drinks.
My heart is thirsty for that noble pledge. Fill, Lucius, till the wine or swell the cup. I cannot drink too much of Brutus's love.
He drinks.
Come in, Titinius.
Exit Lucius, re-enter Titanius with MESSALA.
Welcome, good MESSALA. Now sit we close about this taper here and call in question our necessities. MESSALA, I have here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi.
Myself have letters of the selfsame tenor, that by prescription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators, Cesario being one.
Cicero one?
And by that order of Cesario is dead, and by that order of prescription.
Why, farewell. We must die, MESSALA. With meditating that we must die once, I have the patience to endure it now.
Even so, great men, great losses should endure.
I have as much of this in art as you, but yet my nature could not bear it so.
Well, to our work alive, what do you think of marching to Philippi presently?
I do not think it good.
The reason?
It is. 'Tis better that the enemy seek us. So shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offense, while we, lying still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness.
Good reasons must, of force, give place to better. The people twixt Philippi and this ground do stand but in a forced affection, for they have grudged us contribution. The enemy, marching along by them shall make a fuller number up. Come on refreshed, newly added and encouraged. From which advantage shall we cut him off, if at Philippi we do face him there, these people at our back?
Hear me, good brother.
Upon your pardon, you must note besides that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful. Our cause is ripe. The enemy increaseth every day. We at the height are ready to decline. There's a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves or lose our ventures.
Then, with your will, go on. We'll along ourselves and meet them at Philippi.
The deep of night is crept upon our talk, and nature must obey necessity, which we will niggard with a little rest. There is no more to say?
No more. Good night. Early tomorrow we will rise and hence.
Farewell, good MESSALA. Good night, Antonius. Noble Cassius, good night and good repose.
Oh, my dear brother. This was an ill beginning of the night. Never comes such division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus.
Everything is well.
Good night, my lord.
Good night, good brother. Farewell, everyone.
Exeunt all but Brutus. Re-enter Lucius with a gown.
Give me the gown. Where is thy instrument?
Here in the tent.
What? Thou speakest drowsily. Poor knave, I blame thee not. Thou art overwatched. Look, Lucius, here's the book I sought for so. I put it in the pocket of my gown.
I was sure your lordship did not give it me.
Bear with me, good boy. I am much forgetful. Canst thou hold up thy heavy eyes a while and touch thy instrument a strain or two?
I, my lord, and please you.
It does, my boy. I trouble thee too much, but thou art willing. I will not hold thee long. If I do live, I will be good to thee.
Music and a song. Lucius falls asleep while playing.
This is a sleepy tune. O murderous slumber, layest thou thy light and mace upon my boy that plays thee music? Gentle knave, good night. I will not do thee so much wrong to wake thee. Let me see. Is not the leaf turned down where I left reading? Ah, here it is, I think. Ah, how ill this taper burns.
Enter the ghost of Caesar.
Who comes here? I think it is the weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god, some angel, or some devil? Speak to me what thou art.
Thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
To tell thee thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well, then I shall see thee again.
Aye, at Philippi.
Ill spirits, I would hold more talk with thee. Boy, Lucius, sir, awake.
strings, my lord, are false.
He thinks he is still at his instrument. Lucius, awake!
My lord?
Didst thou dream, Lucius, that thou so criedest out?
My lord, I did not know that I did cry.
Yes, that thou didst. Didst thou see anything?
Nothing, my lord.
Oh, go and commend me to my brother Cassius. Bid him set on his powers betimes before, and we will follow.
It shall be done, my lord.
Exeunt. Act 5, Scene 1. The plains of Philippi. Enter Octavius, Antony, and their army.
Now, Antony, our hopes are answered. You said the enemy would not come down, but keep the hills and upper regions. It proves not so. Their battles are at hand. They mean to warn us at Philippi here, answering before we do demand of them.
I am in their bosom, and I know wherefore they do it. They could be content to visit other places and come down with fearful bravery, thinking by this face to fasten in our thoughts that they have courage, but 'tis not so.
Prepare you, generals. The enemy comes on in gallant show. The bloody sign of battle is hung out, and something to be done immediately.
Octavius, lead your battle softly on, upon the left hand of the even field.
Upon the right hand, I. Keep thou left.
Why do you cross me in this exigent?
I do not cross you, but I will do so.
They stand and would have parley.
Stand fast, Antonius. We must out and talk.
Mark Antony, shall we give sign of battle?
No, Caesar. We will answer on their charge. Make forth. The generals would have some words.
Stir not until the signal.
Words before blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words better, as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
In your bad strokes, Brutus, you give good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live Hail Caesar!"
Antony, the posture of your blows are yet unknown, but for your words, they rob the Hyblibes and leave them honeyless.
Not stingless, too.
Oh, yes, and soundless, too, for you have stolen their buzzing, Antony, and very wisely threat before you sting.
Villains, you did not so when your vials daggers hacked one another in the sides of Caesar. You showed your teeth like apes, and fawned like hounds, and bowed like bondmen, kissing Caesar's feet, while dead CASCA like a cur behind struck Caesar on the neck. You flatterers!
Flatterers? Now, Brutus, thank yourself. This tongue had not offended so today if Cassius might have ruled.
Come, the cause. If arguing make us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that the sword goes up again? Never till Caesar's 33 wounds be avenged, or till another Caesar have added slaughter to the sword of traitors.
Caesar, thou canst not die by traitors' hands unless thou bringest them with thee.
So I hope. I was not born to die on Brutus's sword.
Oh, if thou wert the noblest of thy strain, young man, thou couldst not die more honorable.
Defiance, traitors, hurl we in your teeth. If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs. Come, Antony, away!
Exeunt Octavius, Antony, and their army.
Why, now, blow wind, swell billow, and swim bark. The storm is up, and all is on the hazard.
Messala.
What says my general?
Messala, this is my birthday. As this very day was Cassius born, give me thy hand, Messala. You know that I held Epicurus strong and his opinion. Now I change my mind and partly credit things that do presage. Come from Sardis on our former ensign, 2 mighty eagles fell, and there they perched, gorging and feeding from our soldiers' hands, who to Philippi I consorted us. This morning are they fled away and gone, and in their steads do ravens, crows, and kites fly over our heads and downward look on us as we were sickly prey. Their shadows seem a canopy most fatal under which our army lies ready to give up ghost.
Believe not so.
I but believe it partly. For I am fresh of spirit and resolved to meet all perils very constantly. Now, most noble Brutus, since the affairs of men rest still uncertain, let's reason with the worst that may befall. If we do lose this battle, then is this the very last time we shall speak together? We are you then determined to do.
I do find it cowardly and vile to give myself death for fear of what might fall. So arm myself with patience and to stay the providence of some high powers that govern us below.
And if we lose the battle, you are contented to be led in triumph through the streets of Rome?
No, Cassius, no. Think not, thou, noble Roman, that ever Brutus would go bound to Rome. He bears too great a mind. But this same day must end that work the Ides of March begun. And whether we shall meet again, I know not. Therefore, our everlasting farewell take. Forever and forever farewell, Cassius. If we do meet again, why, we shall smile. If not, why then this parting was well made.
Forever and forever farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we'll smile indeed. If not, 'tis true this parting was well made.
Why then, lead on. Oh, that a man might know the end of this day's business ere it come. But it suffice that the day will end, and then the end is known. Come, ho, away!
Exeunt. Scene 2, the same. The field of battle. Alarum. Enter Brutus and Messala.
Ride, ride, Messala, ride and give these bills unto the legions on the other side.
He has Messala
Let them set on at once, for I perceive but cold demeanor in Octavius's wing. And sudden push gives them the overthrow. Ride, ride, Messala, let them all come down.
Exeunt. Scene 3, another part of the field. Alarums. Enter Cassius carrying a standard. And
Oh, look, Titinius, look, the villains fly. Myself have to mine own turned enemy. This ensign here of mine was turning back. I slew the coward and did take it from him.
O Cassius, Brutus gave the word too early, who, having some advantage on Octavius, took it too eagerly. His soldiers fell to spoil, whilst we, by Antony, are all enclosed.
enter Pindarus. Enter Pindarus.
Fly further off, my lord. Fly further off.
Fire?
They are, my lord.
Phineas, if thou lovest me, mount thou my horse and hide the spurs in him, till he have brought thee up on yonder troops, and here again, that I may rest assured whether yon troops are friendly or enemy.
I will be here again, even with a thought.
Exit Titanius.
Go, Pindarus, get higher on that hill. My sight was ever thick regarding Titinius, and tell me whether thou knowst about the field.
Pindarus ascends the hill.
This day I breathed first. Time is come round, and where I did begin, there shall I end. My life is run his compass. Sirrah, what news?
Oh, my lord, Titinius is enclosed around about with horsemen that make to him on the spur, yet he spurs on. Now they are almost on him. Now, Titinius, now some light. Oh, he lights too. He's ta'en. And hark, they shout for joy.
Come down. Behold no more. Oh, coward that I am, to live so long to see my best friend taken before my face.
Pindarus descends.
Come hither, Sirrah. In Parthia did I take thee prisoner, and then I swore thee, saving of thy life, that whatsoever I did bid thee do, thou should attempt it. Come now. Keep thine oath. Now be a free man, and with this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom. Stand not to answer. Here, take thou the hilt. And when my face is covered as 'tis now, guide thou the sword.
Pindarus stabs him.
Caesar, thou art revenged, even with the sword that killed thee.
Cassius dies.
Though I am free, yet would not so have been, durst I have done my will. O Cassius, far from this country Pindarus shall run, where never Roman shall take note of him.
Exit Pindarus. Re-enter Titinius with MESSALA.
It is but charge Titinius for Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus' power, as Cassius' legions are by Antony.
These tidings will well comfort Cassius.
Where did you leave him?
All disconsolate. Pindarus, his bondman, on this hill.
Is not that he that lies upon the ground?
He lies not like the living. Oh, my heart.
Is not that he?
No, this was he, MESSALA. But Cassius is no more. O setting sun, as in thy red rays thou dost sing to night, so in his red blood Cassius' day is set. The sun of Rome is set, our day is done. Clouds, dews, and dangers come, our deeds are done. Mistrust of my success hath done this deed.
Mistrust of good success hath done this deed. O hateful error, melancholy's child, why dost thou show to the apt thoughts of men the things that are not? O error soon conceived, thou never comest unto happy birth, but killest the mother that endangered thee.
What, Pindarus? Where art thou, Pindarus?
Seek him, Titinius, whilst I go to meet the noble Brutus, thrusting this report into his ears.
Hie you, MESSALA, and I will seek Pindarus the while. Why dost thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends, and did not they put on my brow this wreath of victory, and bid me give it thee? Didst not thou hear their shouts? Alack, thou hast misconstrued everything. But hold thee, take this garland on my brow. Thy Brutus bid me give it thee, and I will do his bidding. Brutus, come apace, and see how I regained great Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods, this is a Roman's heart. Come, Cassius. Sword, come, Cassius. Come, Cassius' sword, and find Titinius' heart.
He kills himself with Cassius' sword. Alarum. Re-enter MESSALA. Re-enter MESSALA with Brutus, Lucilius, and more soldiers.
Face is upward.
He is slain.
O Julius Caesar, thou art mighty yet. Thy spirit walks abroad and turns our swords into our own proper entrails.
Lower.
Brave Titanius, look whether he have not crowned dead Cassius.
Are yet 2 Romans living such as these? The last of all the Romans, fare thee well. It is possible that ever Rome should breed thy fellow. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius, I shall find time. Come therefore, and to Thasos send his body. His funeral shall not be in our camp, lest it discomfort us. Lucilius, come, set our battles on. 'Tis 3 o'clock, and Romans, yet ere night we shall try fortune in a second fight.
Exeunt. Scene 4, another part of the field. Enter fighting soldiers of both armies. Then Brutus, Lucilius, and others.
Yet, countrymen, oh, yet hold your heads. What bastard doth not? Who will go with me?
Exit Brutus with some of his soldiers. Fighting continues as various soldiers die.
I will proclaim my name about the field. I am Brutus, Marcus Brutus I, a foe to tyrant and my country's friend. Know me for Brutus.
Antony's soldier seizes Lucilius.
Yield or thou diest.
Only I yield to die. Kill Brutus and be honored in his death.
We must not. A noble prisoner. Groom, ho, tell Antony. Brutus is ta'en.
Enter Antony. Antony's soldier speaks.
Where is he?
Safe, Antony. Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure thee that no enemy shall ever take alive the noble Brutus. The gods defend him from so great a shame. When you do find him, or alive or dead, he will be found like Brutus, like himself.
This is not Brutus' friend, but I assure you a prize no less in worth. Keep this man safe. Give him all kindness. I'd rather have such men my friends than enemies. Go on and see where Brutus be alive or dead, and bring us word unto Octavius' tent, how everything is chanced.
Exeunt in several directions. Scene 5, another part of the field. Enter Brutus, Dardanius, Cletus, Strato, and Voluminous.
Come, poor remains of friends, rest on this rock.
Portilia showed me the torchlight, but my lord, he came not back. He is or ta'en or slain.
Sit thee down, Cletus. Slaying is the word. It is a deed in fashion. Hark thee, Cletus.
What?
Brutus whispers.
I, my lord? Not for all the world.
Peace then, no words. Hark thee, Dardanius.
Brutus whispers in his ear.
Oh, Dardanius.
Oh, Dardanius.
Shall I do such a deed? O Silius, O Cletus. Dardanius and Cletus step aside.
Come hither.
Splitters.
What ill request did Brutus make to thee?
Dardanius.
To kill him, Cletus. Look, he meditates.
Now is that noble vessel full of grief that it
the ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me, several times by night, at Sardes once, and this last night here in Philippi fields. I know my hour is come.
Not so, my lord.
Nay, I'm sure it is, Voluminous. Thou seest the world, Voluminous, how it goes. Our enemies have beat us to the pit.
Low alarms.
It is more worthy to leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. Good Voluminous, thou knowest that we two went to school together. Even for that our love of old, I prithee thee, hold thou my sword hilts while I run on it.
Oh, that's not an office for a friend, my lord.
fly, fly, my lord. This is no place, there is no place for tarrying here.
Farewell to you, and you, countrymen. My heart doth joy that yet in all my life I found no man, but he was true to me. I shall have glory by this losing day more than Octavius and Mark Antony, by this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare you well at once, for Brutus' tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon my eyes, my bones would rest, that have labored to attend this hour.
Fly, my lord, fly.
Hence I will follow.
Enter Cletus, Dardanius, and Voluminous.
I prithee, Strato, say thou by thy lord, thou art a fellow of good respect. Thy life hath had some smatch of honor in it. Hold then my sword, and turn thy face away, while I do run upon it. Wilt thou, Strato?
Give me your hand first. Fare you well, my lord.
Farewell, good Strato.
Strato holds out the word, and Brutus runs on it.
Caesar, now be still. I killed not thee with half so good a will.
He dies. Retreat. Enter Octavius, Antony, Messala, Lucilius, and the army.
What man is that?
Messala.
My master's man, Strato, where is thy master?
Free from the bondage you are in, Messala. The conquerors can but make a fire of him, for Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death.
So Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, that thou hast proved Lucilius' saying true.
All that served Brutus, I will entertain them. Fellow, wilt thou bestow thy time with me?
If Messala will prefer me to you.
How died my master Strato?
I held the sword, and he did run on it.
Octavius, then take him to follow thee. That did the latest service to my master.
This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only, in general honest thought and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to the world, this was a man.
According to his virtue, let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier, ordered honorably. So call the field to rest, and let's away to part the glories of this happy day.
Exeunt.
Da, 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 da.